Hi, everybody. Doug Miles along with Don Henderson coming to you from Sarasota. This week, spring training course is over. We've had a week or so of the regular baseball season, about 10 days of it. And Don, I know you were up in New York last week, so the Yankees making some news up there, but not great news. They didn't have a great opening series against our Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, we followed the Orioles all during spring training, and of course the Yankees right now have gotten off to a relatively slow start. Baltimore better than anybody expected. And of course the Rays down here in Florida, now that I'm back, also Cash has got them playing pretty well, and they're off to a pretty good start.
A good opening series for the Rays. They started off at home with a 7-game homestand. They're out in San Francisco this weekend as we talk. But yeah, good start for them once again. And little Rays news, they're going to try one more time this weekend, actually yesterday, to propose a new stadium up in Tampa, a couple of miles away from where they did the Ybor City proposal about a year or two ago, but the mayor of Tampa already said not feasible, so that may not go any further than that.
Yeah, when we had breakfast this morning, you updated me on that because I had just gotten back, and everybody was optimistic about Ybor City, and it all fell through because they just want too much money from corporate America and certainly corporate Tampa.
Right.
The owners themselves don't want to put any money in, and if they don't want to put any money in, nobody's going to put any money in.
Yeah, very difficult to get the enough corporate money like they do in New York, Philadelphia, L.A.,
Exactly.
Tampa. They can get some, but not enough. And the attendance kind of has shown that already. The Rays attendance for opening day. Now they called it a sellout, but they put tarp over more of Tropicana Field, and they consider a sellout 25,000 now.
Yeah, we talked about that during spring training quite a few times. They've closed the upper deck entirely, which gives it a false impression when you say now, you know, we got a sellout at 25,000. You said you thought there were only about 23 at the opening. It wasn't really a sellout.
Right.
So got to be a little disappointed. I mean, they do well on the opening night, and they do well when the Red Sox are in town. They do well when the Yankees are in town. But other than that, they struggle.
Mentioned the Orioles getting off to a better start than people expected. Of course, last year they had that terrible season, losing over 110 games. But Brandon Hyde has gotten his team off to a decent start, 4-3 as we record today on the weekend. But Chris Davis still having his trouble.
Yeah, Chris Davis has not gotten a base hit yet. He's gotten off to a disastrous start. We talked about it many times during spring training. You know, you're making $20 million a year. In fact, he really, the first day of spring training, emphasized it himself. Mm-hmm. He said you can't pay somebody $20 million a year to produce a 167 batting average as he did last year. But unfortunately, all the conversation has not developed into any presentation. He's just struggling.
And you were mentioning, again, we're talking at breakfast, a lot of teams can't send these players down to the minor leagues because of their contract situation. You think they would maybe get them, you know, less pressure on him, get some at-bats, maybe figure out what he's doing, but they haven't done that.
Right. Well, the only way you can do that is if you get the player's permission himself. If they want to send him down, he has to give his permission if he's a veteran-type player, and I don't think Davis is going to want to go down. I'll just be amazed if he does, but he's got to start playing better than he's playing now.
Yeah, I think there's 3 years after this left on that deal.
Yeah,
68 million,
deal.
Something like that left on the contract.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. But you mentioned the Yankees getting off to kind of a shaky start. Mets, though, doing pretty well on the other side of New York City. Not a bad start for them.
No, very happy to see that. And, of course, the strength of their club was last year pitching. Again, this year is pitching. Had the Cy Young Award winner in DeGrom, and they've got great pitching. They just weren't able to put the whole thing together last year. And maybe this is their year. They still don't have a fundamental superstar in the lineup, but their pitching is the superstar division of their team. So I would think the Mets are going to be very, very competitive, more so than they were last year. And when you look at the rest of the league, Washington's having all kinds of trouble, and that was their biggest competition. They got off to a great start against Washington this year.
Of course, the Phillies team Don was affiliated with for a long time, doing their radio broadcasts. Bryce Harper coming in after the long, drawn out, not signing with anybody, but paying some dividends already.
$330 million they paid him for 13 years, and it has paid dividends. They sold 100,000 tickets the first day. They sold 50,000 tickets the second day. There are no Harper shirts remaining. The blouses are all gone, and so far it's been a very positive move. And even Harper has gotten off to a relatively good start, although he caused a little commotion with his second home run of the year. He did a little
bat flip, wasn't it?
well, he did really what happened was he just over dramatized.
Yeah.
I mean, he started jumping.
He pointed out, didn't he? Point out to
yeah, and he jumped up and down.
National fans in the crowd.
Yeah, and they took homage with that, and the next guy up got got drilled.
Paid for it.
He got drilled.
And other teams that are getting off to a good start, we mentioned the Milwaukee Brewers, an outstanding start in the Central. Dodgers doing well in the West, and so some interesting early start to the regular season.
Yeah, and they spent a lot of money in San Diego, so it's going to be interesting to see.
He had a little controversy.
Hit his first home run the other day, and I think 2 days ago, and so he's gotten off to a fair start. But San Diego spent a lot of money, and they're trying to match up with the Dodgers. The Giants right now are a disaster. I saw them.
Yeah.
They just
Bochy in his final year, he already announced.
Yeah,
he's
our
manager.
Yep. He said this is it.
3 championships in 6 years for them, but the last few years have been rough.
Rough,
for
yeah.
And Mike Trout has 2 home runs. He had a couple last night.
And Posey's having some problems as well. And he's getting a little bit up there, and whether they're going to change him to another position or what they're going to do, he's always been a little injury prone, and I think they'll try to protect him as much as they can. But as you said, Machado has gotten off to a relatively good start for the Padres, and just wish the best for him.
And Trout, we mentioned 2 home runs last night.
Yeah.
So he signed a big deal as well.
Well, he probably is the best player in baseball right now, and he got an unbelievable. We thought $330 million was a lot of money. Well, it didn't matter, make a difference. He just jumped right over that $330 million with ease.
Yeah, he just wanted to stay out in Anaheim.
Yep.
He didn't really want to test the waters. He could have in a couple of years.
And I thought he kind of want to come to Philadelphia to a degree. As season tickets for the Eagles, he's always been a big Eagle fan. He lives just outside of Philadelphia. I thought when the contract was up, I don't know that the Phillies could have made a substantial offer, having already paid out $330 million to Harper. But I thought they had a chance to double up. But Anaheim didn't wait for that.
Yeah. Moving to hockey, final regular season games this weekend as we talk to you. And the Lightning, of course, have just rolled all season long and clinched the President's Trophy a couple of weeks ago. So people down here in Tampa Bay expecting the Lightning not only to get to the finals, but to win it.
Well, they certainly have had a tremendous year. They've beaten some very, very good teams on a consistent basis, so therefore they're very optimistic about the playoffs. They have 1 more game to go tonight. They've won 61 games. They're matched up against the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens for the best record of all time in the National Hockey League, and that shows you the kind of team that they have, the depth of the team that they have.
Still think the Capitals, even though they won it last year, don't have their coach Barry Trotz, but they've had an outstanding year, kind of quietly.
Right.
But they could still be a problem for them.
Yeah, and Ovechkin could be tough too.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Islanders as well surprised a lot of people.
Islanders came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they picked up their partial owner, general manager from the Toronto.
Lamoriello?
Yeah, Lamoriello from the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs have stayed even. They haven't gone down any at all. But on the other hand, Lamoriello's taken the Devils from nowhere to either first or second place in their division.
Yeah, Devils, when he was with the Devils, won 3 cups under Lamoriello.
Yes,
so he
yes.
knows how to build them. Finish up, golf, of course, starting this Thursday. The Masters, once again, the rite of spring for most golfers. They really start to pay attention to getting their game going, and that's the tournament that brings in the huge numbers.
Well, it is.
Usually does.
Right.
Anyway.
It is the tournament of the year. It's run like the tournament of the year. Everybody looks at it as, the real class of the field, even though the Open and the PGA, and, they're all great tournaments, but everybody focuses on what's going to happen at Augusta.
Yeah. I'm still looking for Jordan Spieth to get back on track. I
He's
put a
having
couple dollars on him in Vegas when I was out there, but
did
he's
you?
had kind of an off last year and a half.
Yes,
since
he
had that
has.
great season.
Well, he was always a great putter, and he's having a lot of trouble the last year and a half getting those, 8 to 12 foot putts in that he did so successfully for the year and a half that he was right on top. He's taken off the last couple of tournaments just to work on his game, and it'll be interesting. I wish you luck on your on your bet in Vegas.
Very small bet for those watching out there, but legal.
But he has to come through with a
Yeah.
very, very consistent game for 4 days, which is something he has not done in quite some time.
Tiger, of course, everybody looks to see what he can do, and a lot of people thought he would win that match play last week, but ran into a young guy that beat him in the last Saturday, but see how he's playing this week.
Yeah, he plays 3 good rounds and 1 bad. He has not been consistent. He has some great rounds so far, but he's also had some terrible rounds so far. So if he can play 4 in a row, he's got every chance in the world to win.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but that gets you up to date on what's going down here in the Tampa Bay area. For Don Henderson, Doug Miles saying thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.